Welcome back. This is Sports Zone on Joy Prime. My name is Fento Tahir Fento. We are on every Monday, 9 p.m. till 10:30 p.m., talking the best of sports, reviewing the best action from the world of sports. And, of course, the men that always help me do that. Last week, they were not here. They were all over the place. So I did the show with you, and I can confidently say that you guys, the viewers, you guys are my absolute favorite, number one. Now, Daniel and Sicho are my number two favorites. The guys are back on the show. Daniel, welcome back from Kumasi. Sicho, welcome back from your Sele.
Charlie, I guess small Sele. I don't know. I get a small Sele. I didn't know. Charlie, competition be tight.
Yeah, FIFA 11.
So, Charlie, if you get Sele, for not say, all right, you spot it.
But they sit to the tap inside.
Yeah, tough. Welcome back. How are you guys, bro? Man? I've missed you guys.
And thanks to the fans.
I've missed you guys.
I thought you were going to continue with them today.
Last week
an hour and a half with the fans.
They were amazing.
On this screen right here.
They were amazing.
Some guy came here and he said, Tariq Lamptey is not
Black Stars material.
Yeah.
Salisu.
It's not Black Stars material.
Atizigi.
Not Black Stars
He did his own collab.
I said, champ, are you TV material? He was just finishing the players left, right, center. But listen, Sports Zone fans are the best, man. Last week was awesome. Listen, the messages were, like, I had a lot of messages. It was really nice to do the show with the guys. And a lot of them shared some very interesting thoughts. You know, it shows that you guys really watch this show a lot. So, you know, we always do this. That's why I always say every evening that the show is yours. So this time around, tonight, send me a message. There's a lot I know you have to say. N'Golo Kante's performance, that just finished. Yeah. My word.
Yeah.
My word. It's like he never left.
Yeah.
He hasn't left. He's playing a very competitive.
No, acting like, because we don't see him as much.
You people don't watch, but those of us who watch, we know how good he is.
You watch Saudi League.
Every single week. But I've been updating you. Why are you lying?
You watch Saudi
League. I've been updating you.
It don't be one team's matches.
Me, one team. I watch the league. Boga. Charlie. Yes, what N'Golo Kante is doing is no surprise.
It's the second most competitive league in the
world. My word.
Yeah.
The Saudi Pro League.
So those of us who are following
the France game has ended. They've won, right?
Yeah,
they've won by 1 goal to nil. So we'll go into the Euros. So if you've got a message about the Euros, let us know. But we've got some very serious matters to attend to. So do send me a message. The WhatsApp number is on the screen. I'll read as many messages as possible. But we really need to get straight into it because, guys, listen, I know you probably have heard. If you haven't, I'm about to make you angrier, okay? And this is why a lot of the times when journalists complain about the kind of football we play, the kind of league we have, they say journalists are talking too much. But the people running the football and the people who own these football clubs, how much are they helping themselves? How much are they helping the league? How much are they helping you, the supporters, to appreciate the league even more? Because it's their actions, it's the kind of things that happen on the football field, it's the quality of football that is being played that would convince you to go to the stadium and watch the league. I'm about to show you a couple of things from the weekend. Now, coming into this weekend, there were many clubs that were at risk of getting relegated. 2 places were confirmed already. We know that RTU were relegated. We know that Bafokwa were relegated. The only other clubs that could possibly have been relegated were, of course, Great Olympics, House of Oak, Karela United, Lagos Cities, and Heart of Lions. All of these clubs were not safe going into the last day. Now, we all know exactly what happened on Wednesday when RTU went to play against Dreams FC and decided, out of their own will, to take Division 1 players from a completely different team to bring them and come and fill them as RTU players. Because the RTU players were protesting over unpaid bonuses and salaries dating back 6 months. And instead of the club taking action and paying those salaries, they decided that if they won't play, we will use totally unregistered players and come and fill them as you people. Look at the thinking. And the FA sat down, allowed this to happen, and the warning signs were there. Because people were speaking, in fact, journalists were interviewing players, RTU players who said they didn't travel. The FA knew that the RTU players didn't travel, but they let it happen. They could have taken action, they did not take action. They let it happen. These are the people that own the product. Okay, so after that, RTU didn't travel for the Olympics game. So Olympics were awarded 3 points, 3 goals. So Olympics won. And then they moved up. So it meant that Lagos cities needed to avoid defeat. Heart of Lions needed to avoid defeat. Hearts of Folk needed to avoid defeat themselves. Karela needed to avoid defeat if any of them were to survive. So Great Olympics versus RTU, as I indicated, that didn't happen. They didn't show up, so they were awarded 3 goals, 3 points. So that meant that all the other clubs were in danger of getting relegated if they didn't avoid defeat. So then we go to Bechem, where House of Oak needed to avoid defeat. Now take a look at the goals that House of Oak scored to get a 3-2 win. House of Oak won 3-2, survived relegation. So now look at, follow the trajectory. Olympics won, they were out of the bottom. House of Oak won, they were out of the bottom, which means Heart of Lions were down in it. At that time, they were losing 2-1. Okay? At that time, Heart of Lions were losing 2-1. And at that point, they were going to get relegated with Olympics winning, House of Oak winning. Then they got a penalty and then equalized and got a 1-1 draw, which meant Great Olympics were back into the relegation zone. Now, this is the penalty that they got and scored for 2-2.
Open penalty na dey back about 3 minutes ni upon you know referee gira hon yam shi no so onye wa sha da referee penalty na dey back about 3 minutes ni upon you know referee gira hon yam shi no so onye wa sha da referee penalty.
My brothers and sisters, have you seen that Nikkei's face? You saw the referee. He was standing right there. He looked at it, pointed to the spot. You don't need, this is not one of those incidents where you can excuse and say it was a mistake. It was not a mistake. The defender didn't even stick out a leg. But I bring it up. Split the screen for me. He didn't even stick out a leg. He just followed him.
No, you see.
Look at this. He's going, the defender. Oh my God. And you know, the embarrassing thing is that they don't even care that this is getting captured on camera. So they're doing it, it's deliberate, and this is disturbing. Where's the integrity? Where is the integrity in our league? And you know why? The only reason Heart of Lions got this result is because they are owned by Randy Abbey, a GFA Executive Council member. There's no other explanation. So why do we care about our relationships and our friendships more than the integrity of the game? So let's help Randy and Heart of Lions stay up. Because how else do you explain this decision? You tell me. What interest has the referee got in this match to want to rob and fix the result as well as he did? What interest as an individual, the referee, what interest has he got? And you want to tell me that the people at the helm are not the ones ruining our game? before I even bring the guys in, I'm just going to say this. That the reason our football is in this is a new low for the Ghana Premier League. And the people that run this league have to be ashamed, right from the people at the very top to the people who own these football clubs. Because it appears to me people only care about the results and what their selfish interests are rather than the integrity of the game. And integrity is important. Because why should be a journalist care and write a match report and do analysis, look at team sheet and look at tactics? Sucho wants to talk about who is playing 3-4-3, how the movement, the system works, only to go and see a game that is predetermined, where the result is predetermined. What about you, the fan? There's no respect for you, the football fan, because you went there to see competition, to see people fight. That's why you paid money. To go and watch this nonsense? Where's the integrity? And we are surprised that the people are not watching our football, that the fans aren't going to the stadium. We're surprised that StarTimes is losing subscriber numbers by the droves, because the only reason a lot of people buy StarTimes was the Ghana Premier League. Their subscription numbers have dipped badly. You're surprised that Bet Power doesn't want to associate with this league? They've pulled out. When this StarTimes contract ends at the end of this season, you might not have a TV sponsor. Which serious TV company would want to get involved in this nonsense? Where's the integrity? Where is it? Where's the integrity? And listen, I'm just going to say this, that the lack of integrity in our league is also affecting the value of our players. Because I'll tell you what, on Wednesday, Ajani Boateng scored 5 goals against RTU. He's the second top scorer in the league. When you look at those numbers, typically anybody should say he must be a very good player. But ask yourself, the 5 goals he scored against RTU, was it as a consequence of the quality of the player or a consequence of the nonsense that RTU pulled? Which one is it? And would it be fair for us to judge him and look at those numbers that he pulled out this season and say, fantastic, this is a good player, he scored 17 goals? That's how the lack of integrity affects the results. And even when games are predetermined, what is the effort level of the players that are playing in it? Because if I know that no matter what, like Bechem United, they know that we're going to this game, we're not supposed to win, because Hearts of Oak have to win to survive relegation. What do you think would be the effort level of the Bechem United players? So if a scout is watching that, are they watching the true quality of the player? Or a player whose integrity is tainted by the system? All of this affects, and that's why there's no surprise our players go for nothing. Absolutely nothing. No one values our players. And that's why even our players, no matter how many goals they score, if they go out, they struggle. Because there's no integrity in the game. We have to fix this. Because trust me, the short-term gains that you are getting now by keeping Heart of Lions in the league, by keeping Hearts of Oak in the league, by promoting Vision FC, promoting Basake Holy Stars because it's owned by the RFA chairman. Basake Holy Stars had 3 petitions, 3 protests filed against them this season. 2 of those protests were dismissed. Not because they didn't find any wrongdoing. The first one, they found wrongdoing, and they said that the protesters filed the protest out of time. The other one, they found that the player was unqualified, but they said that it wasn't Basake Holy Stars who falsified the data of the player, but they kept using an unqualified player. The third protest, they said Basake Holy Stars played against Seshi All Stars. Seshi All Stars are leading by 1-0. Halftime, Basake Holy Stars do not come out. The referees say that the match, they don't feel safe against the team that is leading. Then they abandon the match and they give the points to Basake Holy Stars. Because why? It's owned by an RFA chairman. Is that the reason? So by all means, they must be promoted. let's pat our heads in shame. Because as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned, the smallest integrity that was left was completely eroded this weekend. And it saddens me because this is happening in a season where Dreams FC put up a credible performance in the CAF Confederation Cup. And we were supposed to build on that success. Instead, it's gotten worse. So then I asked the question, and guys, you can help me answer this question. Why do the people who do the football? Because fans don't go to the stadium. They don't sell players for any money. They don't sell any merchandise. There's no sponsorships in the league. So why do they do the league? I'm interested. Is it because they are able to fix matches and get money from betting? Is that it? Because why do we do the football? Why is everyone so desperate to get a team promoted to the Ghana Premier League? What is there? Because there's no money. There's no sponsorships. There are no fans. You don't sell merchandise. So why are you so desperate? You don't sell players for any valuable money. Why are you so desperate? Because truth be told, Ghana Premier League players have no value. In fact, I interviewed Tom Vernon just last week, the Right to Dream founder. And he said they contemplated founding their own super club to graduate the Right to Dream players into that club that would play at the top level in Ghana. Then they sat down and they realized that it's a complete waste of time. That in fact, they stood a better chance of selling a Right to Dream graduate for more money than they did if they formed a football club and that Right to Dream graduate actually went on to play for a professional club in Ghana. Why is it that scouts now are more interested in buying teenagers, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds with no Division I league experience, no Premier League experience? They add more value. They attach more value to those players than our players who play in the professional league. You know why? Because the league is not professional. It's tainted, no integrity. So, no wonder when we come and sit here and we do Ghana Premier League, the people say, stop worrying about the Ghana Premier League, let's do foreign football. This is the reason. There's absolutely no integrity. That is my two-piece this evening. And for those that run the football, if this does not provide a watershed moment, actually it won't, because we've had so many moments that should have been watershed moments. We didn't take action. We didn't take advantage. 2 seasons ago, it was a betting scandal. This season, what is it? So every season is one thing after the other. We need to do 2 things. First, sober reflection. And second, we need to put all of these affiliations and relationships aside and care more about the integrity of the game. Because without that, we have nothing. If Arsenal have to get relegated because they deserve it, so be it. If Lions have to be relegated because they deserve it, so be it. Nobody is bigger than the game. The game is a consequence of results. Your performance, your position in the table is a consequence, it's a measure of how good you are. If you're a poor team, you're going down. You're a poor team, you're going down. That's football. The best teams stay up. The poor teams go down. You shouldn't stay up because you have a relationship with somebody at the top. You shouldn't stay up because you have an influence. Sicho, Daniel, I'm done. I'm done. You bet me up on.
You are in fire.
Oh, man. Look, it's not a one-off. And I understand your frustration because it's not as if it's just this season that these things are happening. It's been happening for a very long time. And the football that is being run in this country, take it or leave it, it's a big cartel. It's a group of people who now call themselves a family of football people who are running the sports that all of us
Only
love
helping themselves.
for their benefit. So when you ask why they would play in the Premier League and why are they struggling to get into the Premier League, only they can answer. But when you begin to see some of the things that are happening, nobody is wrong to speculate that they are fixing games. Nobody is wrong to accuse them of speculation or allege that they are fixing games and betting for their own benefits. Because it doesn't make any sense the way things pan out in our football. And the fact that, and you see, when you check out some of the rules in our game, it doesn't make any sense. And one of the most no-sense rules that I saw was that you can see that you are playing against an illegal team, yet you play with them, and then you will deal with the matter later. It's the most nonsense of rules I've ever seen. In the case of Dreams FC and RTU. Because when Dreams FC knew they were not playing against RTU, and the identity of the team wasn't RTU, for safety reasons and everything that comes with principles, there's no way that game should have gone on. There's absolutely no way that game should have gone on. No way or whatsoever. For players who are not registered to play in the Premier, there is no way in a million years that game should go on. We are not talking about one player. We're not talking about two players. We're talking about an entire team, right? So we've seen teams where they've gone into competitions using a player who's a professional player attached to the club, yet not registered for the competition to play a certain competition. The team can be. It happened to Real Madrid where they used the player who wasn't registered for the Copa del Rey. Yeah. He's a no-Real Madrid player. He's a professional footballer, and then Real Madrid were punished for it. In this case, an entire team's makeup is completely changed for a fixture. And the rule suggests, stupidly, that you should play the game and then later we deal with the matter. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you know how unbelievable that situation was? Someone tweeted that was what was happening, that RTU had fielded an entire team of unregistered players.
Yes.
And the Dreams FC general manager,
yes,
Aminu Shado, who was not at the venue, went to reply to a journalist that how can anything like that happen?
Yet it was happening right before.
It was happening behind his back.
Yes,
because right before even he couldn't believe
it was happening, and that's what I'm saying.
That it's possible in today's age.
So it doesn't make any sense the way you run the football. But Fen, this is the thing, right? There isn't any serious country in the world that allows a group of people who call themselves football people to dictate how their sports or their football, to be precise, is run. It's run like there's no country that is serious about sports who allow the FA in their makeup to run it. No, there is no way in a million years, right? They will tell you, and I've said this over and over again, they will come and lie to you that if government gets involved, it's called interference. It is not called interference. It's a public interest. Sports is a public interest. And the government do have a strong responsibility of guiding public interest. And what these people are doing to the sports is shambolic. It is shameful. And that is why, for me, I'm not going to excuse anybody, from the GFA president, Mr. Ket Okraku, through the vice, through the executive council members, who have supervised what has become a terrible show. They have to be ashamed of themselves. And I tweeted this, that, look, the Ghana Premier League is a scripted drama, poorly executed by actors. And these players, and that is why anytime we start to say, call Ghana Premier League players, we've said it before. Why should we call Ghana Premier League players in place of players who are playing incredible leagues in our national teams? Because what they play in the local league is not good enough.
Have you noticed that even that advocacy has died down a little bit?
That's because
another tournament will come. Only last few months we're talking about why Lamte should go to the AFCON. When the next AFCON is coming, we'll talk about why the next Kotoko or
I just made the example because Ajeni Boateng scored 5 goals against RTU.
But the goals, nothing. Right? So for me, that is where and you see, the way the Hearts of Oak game went, there's no way the FA should not be investigating it. That game for Hearts of Lions, there's no way they should be investigating it. But the reason why they can't investigate it is because they knew what was going to happen on the day. And I sat behind my TV, picked up my phone, and predicted that all these things were going to happen, and they played out. And so when people don't follow the Ghana Premier League, when people don't watch the Ghana Premier League, when people are watching other leagues, it's simply because they are sensible. It is not their fault. You see, the football is a global sport. If I love football, I'm going to gravitate towards the best of football. I'm not going to stifle myself and stick to a football being played somewhere because that is where I come from. No. If football that is being played in other countries is available to me and it is better than what you are offering, I will stick to it.
It's like rice.
Yeah.
You can't force you to eat Ghana rice.
You can't force me to. If you can't force me, if the quality is not there and it's on the market and I can afford it, I'll watch it.
Yes.
Right. So when people are saying that they don't like Ghana Premier League and Ghana football, it is not. They are only being sensible because, to be honest, if you like football and you love football, and you are thinking right, you can't see the Premier League and see the Ghana Premier League and compare what the two leagues offer. You can't see the Spanish La Liga, see the Ghana Premier League, and then think that you are better off wasting your time on the Ghana Premier League. And it becomes a waste of time for anybody risking his life or her life running around the country.
And it's very risky.
Because the roads are not good.
I'll send Musbao to Samurai Boy, who played that report for you. The journey is torturous.
Yeah, terrible roads and all of that.
And you know the
all for
funniest
nothing.
We are discussing this when we should be celebrating Samatex.
What have they won? They've won a league that has no value, a league that has no merit, a league that has no truth to it, no integrity. So what have they won? They've done nothing. So there's nothing to celebrate, really. There is absolutely nothing to celebrate in this league. And it's a shame because that is not what football is.
Daniel always says that you can't guilt trip him into watching the Ghana.
No, I ain't go force
and say because you are Ghanaian, you must watch.
Okay.
Me you won't get me. Me you won't get me. And see, I will never feel guilty.
No, there's nothing to feel guilty about.
Because this is the reason why. All we're doing, look, let's be honest.
And then they blame journalists. Is it our fault that the referees and the people did what they did? So you and I, we can spend 3 hours on game plan, spend another 2.5 hours here talking Ghana Premier League. Then they go and do that.
Tairu, that one is your fault too.
It's our fault?
No. Let me clarify.
Because they will say, generally, we don't talk about the league. We will talk about the league and you go and do this.
See, when they say, generally, don't talk about it, you feel guilty. But then you force us to this guy. But me, you get me. See.
This show, we spend average of 40 minutes of this show on Ghana Premier League. In fact, viewers of this show know that on this show, we always start with Ghana Premier League.
At the moment, we've wasted 37 minutes on the Ghana Premier League for nothing.
We have.
See, Tairu, me, what bothers me is, we all know this.
We know.
Yet when AFCON is coming, or World Cup is coming, and I come and sit here and I tell you that your players are not good enough to play for Black Stars.
Then you vex.
Then you both vex. Look at this league. See, friends, the honest truth is that, again, you can't, and there are so many people like me.
Yeah.
You can't guilt trip us to watch Ghana Premier League because we are Ghanaian.
No.
We love football, and we want quality football.
Yes.
Wherever there's quality football available, we watch. If it is 2:45 and it's 15 minutes to a Man United game, and Saudi Pro League is going on, and the teams are top teams, we watch that 15 minutes before we go and watch Premier League. Yes. That's what lovers of football do. Sometimes we can even be switching between matches. Quality leagues all around. You see, there's variety on a Saturday, on a Sunday. Yes. Or not on a Sunday afternoon. Whilst Aston Villa and Newcastle are playing, I'll go and watch Beche United versus Hearts. When I know, last 3 weeks when we were doing that running, one of the most useless discussions we've ever had on this Sports Zone show. And I'm sorry. No, it's true. Because, seriously.
Because you knew the outcome,
but I told you,
pretend.
I told you I didn't want to discuss it. This is what I'm telling the people. I told you I didn't want to discuss it because I didn't think it was necessary. We all knew that Hearts would not go on relegation. It is impossible. Hearts will not be relegated. We knew that Hearts of Lions would not be relegated. When you sent Mubarak to go and do that report, you see, it's painful because for just nice storytelling, everything, but all the gimmicks. Because we knew that won't go. Settings. We knew that won't go. One of the most useless discussions we've had. I told you. The Hearts won't go on relegation. We are Hearts of Hope, we will not go on relegation. Hearts of Lions, we will not go on relegation.
Until they both are on.
You look at the people who have the least relationship or least strongest relationship with the people at the top. Only they will go. And let's bet, Oli will be back in the next 2 years. They will come back. And then the cycle will continue and continue and continue. Look, unless we fix this league, we'll just be going around. Because it's affecting everybody. It's affecting the players, it's affecting the coaches, it's affecting the academies, it's affecting our the football economy, it's affecting the economy, it's affecting everything.
That is why when the FIFA transfer thing comes out,
the number of players sold, plenty, but the value.
For 20 million.
But the value.
And Senegal will sell 3 players for 500 million. What is wrong with that?
Chicken change. We are not serious. So let's hurry up because there's Euros going on.
Let's talk
So
about
abandon this
quick.
Yeah, because
on.
the football people, they should create their own show from their offices and distribute the information and news to people who want to follow them. They are a complete waste of time. And that is me being very
Somebody said something that you were saying off air. This message from Daniel from Satellites. And he says, Fent, look at the reaction of the House of Oak players after the comeback. There was no joy from them. It clearly shows something is not right. And Sicho said that when the highlights was being played. He said, how do you score the winning goal in the 73rd minute? It's not like he's running back.
In Bechem, a place you never win. A place you never win. You never win in Bechem.
They have 2 wins the last 12 years.
Oh, okay, like you are sad.
And even his own teammates didn't go to celebrate.
Nobody went
with
to him. Forget
Why?
everybody.
It means nothing?
Because the game gimmicks are set here.
And these players are just actors in the script. These
But
players are all actors in the script.
Show me the full table then. Let's see.
What are they doing?
Oh, brother, they are champions.
Oh.
No,
sometimes you have to let these football people know that we are getting to the point where we want to tell them that we don't care about. They can do what they want, but this is our stance. The league table is irrelevant. The league table is useless. It's the truth. The league table as it is.
Not results, table.
It's useless. And the FA people should know that Ghanaians are not stupid. We are thinking. We see through what they are doing. And so we won't sit here and be talking about Samatex winning a league that has no importance and no value. A cooked league. And then talk about Oli, who have deliberately been sent to relegation because Hearts of Oak won some game by some way. Hearts of Lions won. Okay, we are serious people in this country. We are serious in this country. You know, people go show you football. We've seen football. People have done football. So these things that you are doing, stop it. Stop it. They can't show league table for what?
When I remove the table, I see your vex. You say the table, you're useless. Welcome back to Sports Zone. This is the best sports show on television. I'm not even going to have anyone debate it. Okay? This is the best sports show on television. And that's why I take exception to the message Mohammed has sent us from Shukura. Mohammed says, please tell us that you'll be starting the program at 10 p.m. because you are making noise for 1 hour without talking anything sports. You are trying to tell me that GPL is not sports.
Yeah, it's not.
Why? You will agree with him.
Yeah.
Charlie, you said when we come back from the break, we are going to Euros. You promised us something.
People don't want to hear anything Ghana Premier League.
Let's move.
All right, let's talk Euros then. Let's begin from Friday night, shall we? Germany opened the campaign against Scotland. My dear Lord, it was a thumping. Take a look. Okay, guys, I have a question. Was it that Scotland were just piss poor or Germany were just too good?
Both are true. Scotland were very poor, but Germany were
super.
On the day, not many teams were beating that German team. I think they played in a way that not many people have seen them play, or they've not necessarily played that way because during international breaks, it's either they've not had that full squad available, or the manager has had to. He knows some players are going to go for sure, so he's had to give opportunity to others who is not sure. Yeah. And now that he had his team and he started this team in the way they played, Florian Wirtz, Jamal Musiala, Kai Havertz. People talk about the way Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala occupied the advanced number 8 space or half space or 2 number 10s. But it was also the ability of Kai Havertz to drop in deep then because Scotland were very deep. But then Germany were like, keep the box, we don't need it. We'll play on the edge of it. And so when the balls were cutting across the edge of the box, there were about 2-3 Germans who were there. And the quality of the finishing in the end, brilliant.
I thought Musiala was fantastic on the day.
Look, he was, but I think, you see, Scotland's game plan is what allowed Germany to have that much of the ball in the first half. Scotland literally didn't have a plan going forward. Their route one style, and that's clearly what they wanted to do. But the lack of runners, I think it was McGregor and Christie, the Bournemouth winger, who were supposed to be flanking Shea Adams. Long ball comes in. Those two are defending so deep. Shea Adams is left alone. So it was literally Scotland win possession, hand it back to Germany. Germany come back at them. And as Sucho has said, because they were defending the box, Kai Havertz dropping into midfield just allowed Germany to crowd that the middle of the park, overcrowd them, and then the guys hugging the touchline. Look, it was too easy. It was too easy, and I'm quite disappointed that this Scottish team under Steve Clarke, with that much experience, couldn't quickly adjust, especially after like 1-0 or 2-0. They should have been able to adjust and keep the scoreline quite limited. But this is Germany, and sometimes tournament football just goes
quick question.
Yeah.
Germany were one of the favorites before the tournament by virtue of the fact that they were hosting, not necessarily because people thought they had the better team or the best team. After what you saw, are you revising your notes?
No, not yet. I think they've not been properly tested.
Okay.
Scotland didn't give them any proper test whatsoever. When they play against a proper team, we would see the weaknesses in the side. Having said that, though, Germany is always going to be difficult. But Toni Kroos, what a player. Because
he only misplaced one pass.
It's a shame he's not going to be playing football again. And
102 passes, 101 completed.
Can you
and
he should retire.
And the thing about he's a cheat code. The thing about what Toni Kroos does is serious. When Germany had a lot of the ball, at some point, Scotland were okay to get Germany to get the ball. But it is about the way he's able to straight away with one pass flip the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
And if you look at that Jamal Musiala goal, when Kroos picked up the ball and his body angle was as if he was going to go long to Kimmich, he actually squeezed the ball through to Ike Gundogan, whose first touch for the spin and the run and the pass for Havertz, whose run was also brilliant. And Jamal Musiala arriving on the box was almost as if it was a drawing on paper. It was so perfect. And you need players to be able to change tempos of the game, switch teams. And even though Scotland were defending deep and compact, the movement of the German team and the way they were moving the ball was shifting the entire Scottish side, and they couldn't cope.
Let's talk about a team that was tested. Spain. They came up against Croatia. Croatia are World Cup finalists, World Cup semi-finals, back-to-back tournament. They have been a tournament team, let me put it that way. And they still had enough experience coming up against a Spain team that is very, very inexperienced. I had a 16-year-old in there and what have you. But my word, by the 90th minute, it was a thumping that the Croatians received. So that's that. All 3 goals came in the first half. Let's see. Spain, look, Croatia had no answers for Spain, for anything Spain threw at them. And Spain threw a lot of things at them.
Yeah, especially in that first half. And when they got the job done in the first half, they didn't have to go all out in the second. It's a tournament, you want to conserve some energy. But people have not maybe then paid attention to the new Spain. I think people are still very familiar with it.
Yeah, I mean, I still have my doubts. Maybe because I don't necessarily think that the players are experienced enough, but the quality of football is fantastic.
Yeah, I think they've got a good blend. They've got a good blend of experience and youth. And the youth that they've got in their side are bringing in something they didn't have 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, Spain, they were very predictable. They would pass the ball, keep the ball as they always do. Yet they don't have.
Under Luis Enrique.
Yes, they didn't use the pace of their wide players enough because they wanted to keep the ball. De La Fuente's side, even though they keep the ball, they are also very quick. So they mix it. They'll keep the ball, they will draw you, but the pace of Lamine Yamal, the pace of Williams, and then Alvaro Morata, that space in behind teams is causing problems. Yeah. And when you've got those 2 young players, they take people on. They are not shy to take people on. Danny Carvajal will overlap. They've got Cucurella was amazing in the way he played. And the midfield 3, I've got real combination about them. Very good combination. I think Reece and Rodri were excellent on the day. So yeah, I think Spain will cause many teams problems. The question then will be at the back, the 2 centre halves they've got.
Man of the match.
Yeah, can they hold when they come up against top teams? But for Croatia, they've got no real pace in the team, and their most reliable players have not necessarily been in the form you want them to be in. Kovacic hasn't played enough games for City this season, even though getting to the end of the season he played. Brozovic had his injury problems, like he was away for like 2 months, came into the last games of the Saudi Pro League. Luka Modric hasn't played games enough this season for Real Madrid.
On top of that, that is a lot of old legs.
Old legs as well. And these are 3 of their most experienced players who have not come into the competition with any real form or momentum, and it cost them.
Daniel, quick thoughts?
Yeah, it's a Croatian, the Croatian midfield. Look, on paper they look like it looks classy, but time has I think time has caught up with them. When you're facing a team like this, a midfield of this Spanish team's caliber, a midfield that is comfortable with keeping the ball, you need to be a bit more decisive when you get it. And for me, I've never been too comfortable with Brozovic's passing in terms of the consistency that he can give you. Modric is your guy. I think this team has really missed Rakitic. Obviously, we've gone past him, but they've really missed Rakitic, and they've not necessarily replaced him in what he gives to that Croatian midfield. And for me, it's just basically an aging team that was up against a young, vibrant team that will punish you with the least mistake that you make. You look at the Fabian Ruiz goal. There was really no reason why he should be dancing around on the edge of the box against. Look, if it was a younger, fitter Croatian team, the defensive midfielder is doing a much better job. Modric was literally standing there as they were dancing past him, and that is not him. And you can understand he's old, he's getting old. These are some of the things that you see, but I still think Croatia can bounce back and get qualification. I don't think they'll go far, but in terms of the group, I think they have what it takes to be at least get past the group stages.
All right, fair enough. So that's that. Wonderful 3 points for Spain. What about Italy? They are defending champions. They had to dig deep, show enough character to come from a goal down to beat Albania by 2-1. Take a look. So the Italians, they needed to dig deep, find their character. Yes. They found it, and it was quick. They didn't have to allow Albania to settle too much.
Look, should have been like 4-1.
Yeah, and Spalletti's a great coach. He tactically he's a genius, right? This is not the most talented Italian side, but it's beginning to make them probably one of the most effective teams we would see in this tournament. And it's a confusing team that he plays, really, because he's playing 4 midfielders, right? So Jorginho is fantastic. We saw Pellegrini, the AS Roma captain. He's playing in behind Scamacca. But it was interesting the way you used Fratesi, who was starting out wide, but normally would come in and join the midfield. So in the midfield, there was pressure. And that allowed Di Lorenzo to step up. The good thing is when Di Lorenzo stepped up, because Bastoni is comfortable staying in a back three of some sort, he and Calaferi were very comfortable in allowing him to go, Di Lorenzo to step up, and because Jorginho was there to also provide some cover. Ultimately, I think Chiesa looks in the best shape that he's been in the last year or so. He's enjoying his game again. Scamacca's presence was really good in the way he was linking up the play. He had an early setback, but like you said, the response was quick. They didn't panic. They were comfortable in their own game plan, and in the end, they got a win that I thought would flatter Albania. The scoreline should have been more devastating for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, I love Scamacca as a player. He's an attacking player's dream. He's like the Olivier Giroud and co.
Yeah.
Stick him up there, and everybody who's playing around him will have a good game. He has the ability to link up. And you see, because of his size and his skill, it's not just about the link up. His technique is brilliant. Yeah. Defenders are afraid. So by all means, automatically, they will draw to him. And he has that presence, that skill to be able to link up and feed the rest of the attacking players who play with him. I'm sure he'll start every game. And I thought, look, I just like the way Italy, you look at their team, the last Euros into the very disappointing World Cup qualifiers, and how they've quickly been able to fashion out this. It's almost like an entirely new team. Yeah. And they are playing some really good football. As to whether they'll be competitive at this competition, I really don't know. Because it's Italy, you give them a chance. But the football they play is really eye-catching. I thought they should have won by a much better scoreline. But
interesting. I've got a message here from Frederick, popularly known as Pendra, inside New Abrim in the issue. He says, for me, my favorite team to win the Euros on any day is Germany. Interesting. Frederick, we'll see. Let me take you to Netherlands versus Portugal. Versus Poland. What's now?
You're going to say Portugal, but relax. They are yet to show up.
No, I didn't say
so
it.
Relax.
Why are you drawing? I've got 2 matches to show you. First one is the Netherlands versus Poland. That was another game, another very interesting game of football. The Dutch needed to dig deep in that game as well, and they did. And got the win. All right, so hard-fought victory for Koeman's team, and it was one of those matches that I thought, the Netherlands yet again. Look, there's something about the Dutch team, right? They always flattered to deceive a little bit. Every time they go to a competition, they're very talented. It doesn't always quite work out. When you see what you saw from 2 days ago, from yesterday, what impressions do you get of this team?
I'm still not convinced. I wasn't convinced before they started the competition because of Ronald Koeman. It was the nation's.
But there's enough talent in there,
No, as for the talent, they have it. But I think Louis van Gaal set the template for this team. The individual quality in this team fits a certain system. I think the 3-back is what they should be playing. The strength of this Dutch team is in the wing-backs. The Dumfries, Jeremy Frimpong, who's had a brilliant season. If you playing Dumfries as a full-back, look, no matter what happens, and as the competition progresses, you will see that he will become a weak link. Ake playing at left-back is... You see, don't copy Pep. Yeah. Okay? Like, do what suits you. Don't copy Pep. If you look at the support that Ake was given, at a certain point, Gakpo was struggling for support on the left-hand side. And Gakpo himself is not a natural winger. So the Dutch were sort of squeezing themselves a bit narrow. And I feel like, look, when you face a much better opposition, a team with quality all around, some of these things are going to be exposed. You have to obviously highlight some individual performance. Gakpo had a really good game. But I don't see how on paper, when you have Xavi Simons and Dumfries on one side, it just doesn't seem to work out. And Xavi Simons himself is not your natural winger, hack the touchline. He also wants to get inside. So they had too many players competing for the central areas of the pitch. And when you have too many players like that who want the ball, who want to dictate play, you tend to struggle a bit. They got a typical centre forward in there waiting for support. Once the ball came in, boom, the ball was in the back of the net. But I think they need to retreat to the back three. I think that's what best suits this team, the back three system. But I don't think Ronnie Koeman will do it, so quarter-final.
Okay. Sicho, I want us to move to the England-Serbia game because it means a lot to me.
No problem, Mr. Host.
They won by 1-0, but it was a game where they really struggled to impose themselves on the Serbs. Let's take a look at the highlights, and then we can pick apart the issues from that match. Right, so there's that. They won 1-0, but the English press scathing assessment of this game. And I want to start off from this. Somebody sent a message here. This is from Andy Champon Kofi, who says, you see how Vitz, Musiala, Gundogan, and Kai Havertz, all 10s, played for Germany? Southgate should find a way for Foden, Bellingham, and Kane to work if he wants them all on the pitch. Kane was missing for most parts of the game. Foden there, lost in Neverland. Kane had 2 touches in the entire first half, even though England dominated. What are their issues? Why are people so upset about the way they performed? They got 1-0, 3 points. What's the big deal?
England have got into the competition with a reputation, and they've got some talented footballers in the side. We saw Phil Foden, the Premier League's best player, Jude Bellingham, La Liga's best player, Champions League winner, La Liga winner. They have some talented footballers in the side. We've seen Declan Rice go to Arsenal and being a very good player for them. Harry Kane has gone to Germany, smashed records.
It's probably their player of the season.
Because it was player of the season. No, it wasn't player. No, Florian Wirtz was, but it was Bayern's player of the season. And we've seen.
I'm talking about Rice.
Rice, yes.
The Arsenal's player of the season.
Yes.
Coleman, Chelsea's player of the season.
You know, so they have some talented footballers in that side, right? And so many people expect them to go into games and dominate it. English fans have grown watching a Premier League where there's Klopp and there's Pep, and their teams are playing a brand of football with supreme confidence and control that entertains the fans. They see their teams, these teams are superior teams to all the teams that they've played against, and they are hoping the national team can be that. So that is the yardstick that is, that's the bar they set for their national team. But at times, it's unrealistic because of the limitations that they have in the team and also because of the coach they have. Their coach is not Pep. Their coach is not Klopp. He's Southgate. And we know what Southgate does. He is a very pragmatic coach. And when you watch Southgate's teams play in tournaments, he's never been a big goal hitter. Southgate team don't win by 3 goals. No, yeah, occasionally they'll get a 4-1, a 5-2 somewhere. But most often than not, it's a 2-1, 1-0, 2-0, very close scorelines. They played against, you know, they play in their first game against a Serbia side that is talented. But you look at an English team and you're thinking they should be doing better. But there are question marks around this English side. And if they worry about that, then I get it. If it's about the scoreline, then I'm thinking, well, the tournament is their first game, be patient. They can build on that. Getting the win out of the way can ease the pressure and get them to play better. There is that. But it's about the problems that were evident in the game, that we can have that discussion. First thing is, the Alexander-Arnold experiments in central midfield looked like it didn't work. Against a better team, he struggles. Because his spatial awareness in the central midfield position was off. And there were a couple of times he lost the balls in dangerous places when the little pressure was applied and he couldn't keep the ball. Yeah. I don't think that he sat around Declan Rice well. But could that have been an instruction as well? Because many times he would go way high up the pitch as if he's a wing back or he's playing his right back role, and then Kyle Walker stays deep. Declan Rice stays in midfield. Bellingham drops somewhat around him or in front of him. And Phil Foden leaves his left channel to come into the number 10 space or something. But Trippier can't hang the line because he's a right-footed player playing on left back. So he also tends to invert. So the whole balance of the English team didn't look right. And I think the players themselves struggled to find the chemistry and the balance of it. Yeah. And that is why the manager must keep it simple. Foden has been great this season. But he was great because for most parts of the season, he played down the middle. When Kevin De Bruyne returned to fitness and he was shifted wide, he didn't play as well as he played when he was in the middle. So maybe can you be bold and say that Foden is great, but you rather want to start Eze or Gordon, who are natural wide players
suited
in that position to give Bellingham the freedom to be the number 10. Can he be bold and make that call, right? Because whatever he was trying to do with Foden dropping alongside Bellingham, it didn't work. And the problem that they faced was something that Erling Haaland at times faced with City. Harry Kane gets himself in the right places, but too many touches, and then they're not finding him. And the services were not there because all of a sudden, Kyle Walker wasn't galloping the line to cross the balls into the box. All of a sudden, we didn't see Foden galloping or Trippier galloping to cross the balls into the box. It was at times Saka, and it was Saka's cross who actually Bellingham got on the end of. And once Bowen got on and then put in the other cross, Harry Kane got his head on it, but we never saw any decent ball coming from the side of Trippier or Foden. He has to find the balance. He's got a talented group of players, but the balance is what winning games, not the names assembled on the pitch.
No.
Look, don't change a winning system.
Okay.
He used a very effective back three system at the World Cup, at the Euros, even at the Qatar World Cup in 2022. Yeah. They lost to fine margins. Harry Kane scores that penalty. It's a completely different game. Then you come into this competition, and you see, it's consistently a problem with the England team. On the back of a very good season where individuals have great form, they try and force everybody into a starting 11 for it to make sense. It's not going to make sense. Yeah. I think that the system should be key. Phil Foden is never going to be a better orthodox. And you see, the team they faced yesterday required an orthodox left winger. Somebody who was willing to pick the ball, run at opposition, because there's Harry Kane. I always say, look, identify who your most dangerous and your best player is. It's not Bellingham. Mm-hmm. It's Harry Kane. Consistently, this English team has been Harry Kane. So play to Harry Kane's strengths. Can Bellingham bend to accommodate Kane? Yes, he can. He can. But you don't need to now force everybody to play for Bellingham because Real Madrid does it and it's sort of... And Real Madrid didn't even do that.
Yeah.
At the crunch time of the season, Bellingham was bending for other players to succeed in the system. So the most important thing is getting Harry Kane the service. And we didn't see it yesterday, which is a huge problem. And that's because players like Foden and Bellingham and Saka were asked to do things that just didn't make sense. You see, people even praise Bellingham's performance. But I think I think it was the freedom that he had. And that freedom also meant that he had the opportunity to pick and choose where he would operate. Yeah. Sometimes his dropping deep was very unnecessary. Drop so deep to go and pick up a ball. When Declan Rice is there and that's his job, you should be high up, a bit higher up, a bit closer to Harry Kane. Foden was far away, lost, didn't understand what he was doing. Trippier, when he was moving forward, didn't even know why he was moving forward because the ball won't come there anyway. Yeah. Then he has to retreat. Everything was just off. The moment or the few times that England kept it simple, Bowen gets the ball, takes on the defender, crosses, dangerous opportunity. Foden won't work. He's played 35 caps for England. You are not as smart as Pep. You can't use him. Fine. Sit him on the bench. Play Gordon. He's more direct. He's better suited to what Harry Kane will need. Saka will give Harry Kane that service. Bellingham, play him closer to Kane. and get the best out of your best player. Because if not, you are just going to dance
Just a
around and
waste
you're,
of
you're not going to win.
Earlier today, there were some shocking results. Slovakia shocked Belgium, beat them by a goal to nil. And then the biggest shock for me was Romania trouncing Ukraine by 3 goals to nil.
Another coach who wants to copy Pep. Why? Since when did he start playing Zinchenko as left back?
Can you imagine?
Mikilenko is there. Push Zinchenko forward.
And then France, of course, won against Austria by a goal to nil. Those were the matches today. More matches continue in the Euros. Remember, here at MGL Multimedia Group Limited, we are the official radio broadcast right holders for Euros 2024. So we have live commentary on Joy 99.7 FM. On Thursday, we have a big game for you. I think that is an Italy-Spain match. And we'll be doing that from Heritage Craft Brewery. That's in East Legon. So do join us. The 7 p.m. game is a big deal. Daniel, myself, all the Joy Sports crew will be there to bring you live commentary. Thank you very much for tuning in. That's our show for tonight.